Well, welcome everybody. People will find their seats, I'm sure. It's nice to see a whole range of people online with Zoom. So far, Suzanne's there from Austria. We haven't seen Lisa yet, but she's promising to get up at some absurd o'clock hour, whether it's 4 a.m. or something crazy. Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining us online, wherever you might be in the world. I know I've got a fair number of family members who have logged on, and Tanya's family, which is rather nice. Bit of housekeeping. We have toilets down the back. The one straight ahead is a single toilet. On the right, there's a unisex toilet. Yep, that door stays open, but there's a lockable doors inside. Exits. There is actually a door behind there. If the worst happens, there's one there. And obviously the one you came in. I think I've covered all of those. Telephones, good idea. Turn off the sound. Yeah, turn 2. And I'll just get my tuner because I'll need that at some stage in the night. See my red shoulder bag? There it is. So tonight started off as an idea to kickstart the Bridgewater Arts Centre again after quite a furlough. And thanks to those who are helping tonight, you'll get to meet them as we go on. Tonight's a bit of a exercise in genre jumping. So we're not doing folk. We're not just doing folk or something a bit heavier or hymns, but it's a bit of a collection of music from around the world, really. That's better. This is a Mary Chapin Carpenter song. This shirt is old and faded, all the colours washed away. I've had it now for more damn years than I count anyway. I wear it beneath my jacket with the collar turned up high. So old I should replace it, but I'm not about to try. This shirt's got silver buttons and a place upon the sleeve where I used to set my heart up, right there for anyone to see. This shirt is the one I wore to every boring high school dance, where the boys ignored the girls and we all pretended to like the band. This shirt was a pillow for my head on a train through Italy. This shirt was a blanket beneath the love we made in our gelays. This shirt was lost for 3 whole days in a town near Buffalo, till I found the locker key in a downtown Trailways bus depot. This shirt is the one I lent you, and when you gave it back, it had a rip inside the sleeve where you rolled your cigarettes. It was the place I put my heart. Now look at where you put a tear. Till I forgave your thoughtlessness, but not the boy who put it there. This shirt was the place your cat decided to give birth to 5, and we stayed up all night watching. We cried when the last one died. This shirt is just an old faded piece of cotton. shining like the memories inside those silver buttons. This shirt is a grand old relic with a grand old history. I wear it now for Sunday chores, cleaning house and raking leaves. I wear it beneath my jacket with the collar turned up high. So old I should replace it, but I'm not about to try. Thank you. Thanks, Paul. As I said, a bit of a collection of songs tonight. About a week ago, I thought I'd listen to Van Morrison's version of this song, which is "Be Thou My Vision," would you believe? And I don't think Van Morrison practiced it at all, but you know what? It was on top of the UK charts for number 4 on the UK charts for a number of weeks, so it was just huge across there. So this is definitely jumping into one of the songs that jump into the hymn genre tonight. Thanks, Jeff. We're getting a little drone here. Oh. He's got a little file there on the side of his screen.
Slide on the sheet.
A hypothetical destination. Say, who is this walking man?
You know, there's James. There's James. Be thou my vision, be Lord of my heart, naught be all else to me, save that thou art. Thou my best thought, by day and by light, waking or sleeping, thy presence my light. Be thou my vision, and thou my true word. I ever with thee, and thou with me, Lord. Thou my great Father, thy child let me be. Thou in me dwelling, and I one with thee. Be thou my armor, my sword for the fight. Be thou my dignity, thou my delight. Thou my soul's shelter, O thou my high tower. Raise thou me heavenward, O power of my power. Riches I scorn, and the world's empty praise. Thou mine inheritance, now and always. Thou and thou only, the first in my heart. High King of heaven, my treasure thou art. High King of heaven, my victory won. May I reach heaven's joys, O bright heaven's sun. Heart of my own heart, whatever befall, still be my vision, O ruler of all. Tanya asked us to play for the Adelaide College of Divinity graduation evening, and she challenged me to come up with a folky version of that. So that was the open sea version. A bit of a welcome to some people I know online tonight. I'm going to miss some people, but apologies for that. I know most of my family are online. Claire in Melbourne and Greg in Sydney. Well, he said he'd be here. Whether he is or not, I don't know. And Lisa was going to be here from Michigan. Suzanne's here. Shana in the Barossa Valley, which is kind of nice. She's a foster daughter of ours from a long time back. And then a special welcome to my mum and the other friends in the nursing home in Elizabeth Gardens in Melbourne, in Burwood. Yay! So Claire took around notice, and so they're on Zoom tonight with a bit of luck, if that worked. Also, a welcome to Craig Mitchell, who I saw just a moment ago online. Craig wrote the words for this song. It came out of his COVID reflections in those first couple of months. Bit of a Lenten theme. Don't need that. Oh, there's time for that. There's time for that. That's how we go. Yeah. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. We are a body, we're bothered and broken. We are a family, we're fractured and frail. We are a household, we're doubtful, divided. We are all pilgrims together alone. And so we walk, and so we walk. We walk on, Lord, we walk on. Here is a people, we're holding a promise. We were full-bodied, yet now we are bones. Here was a heartbeat, still heaving and hoping. Lifeblood now seeping, as cold as a stone. And so we walk, and so we walk. We walk on, Lord, we walk on. Here we are travellers with little direction. We are all followers with future unknown. God of the twilight, God of the morning, God who stands by us, a promise to hold. And so we walk, and so we walk. We walk on, Lord, we walk on. We are all warriors, we're anxious, despairing. We are all dreamers, still longing for home. Spirits are broken, our hearts are wide open, just for ourselves and just for the world. And so we walk,
Hearts grow heavy,
so we walk,
with this load.
we walk on,
Step by step,
we walk
on this road.
and so we walk,
In this
and
year
His is our yearning of healing for all, behind and before us, within and beside us. Christ in the pathway, Christ in the call. And so we walk,
Hearts grow heavy,
so we walk,
with this load,
we walk on,
step by step,
we walk
on this road,
so we walk,
in this year,
so we walk,
heart and soul,
we walk on,
love will
love we
lead,
walk
we
on.
walk on.
Thank you. If I didn't have my notes here, I'd be lost. I've got all these things I want to talk about. But so thank you to Freya and Sky. They happen to be daughters of Tanya and me, and Chris, Sky's husband. But also thank you to Graham Bryce along the back here, and Paul Mitchell, who have come along to fill out the sound time. And thank you very much. It's just lovely to have you. Very nice. I met this guy at Wartburg Theological Seminary when Tanya was doing her Masters of Divinity in Dubuque, Iowa, from 2001 to 2003. And David's been a Evangelical Lutheran Church of America pastor for the last 17-ish years. Tanya would have been a Lutheran pastor as well if the Lutheran Church in Australia had ordained women. And they're still on that journey, would you believe? But David and I wrote some songs together when we were there in Dubuque, and we continue to have a bit of a Skype catch-up or a messenger catch-up. And we wrote this post George Floyd's death. It's a Black Lives Matter song, and the more we talk about it, the more it just seems that in terms of racial relationships, America's just lost. They still have a huge proportion of people who hold this view that whites are somehow superior, and it's not going to go away, not for a while yet. So if Joe Biden gets in, he's got a huge journey to go on. If Trump gets in, God help us all. That's all I can say. All right, so we've got that. What have we got? Two, oh, one, two.
I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't breathe.
He put his knee right down and hard on the neck and killed the black man he had vowed to protect, and woke up a nation from endless denial of its racist and murderous ways. I can't breathe, he's bleeding again and again, on dull repeat, fading to fire his fan. God speaks in the cry from the street, out of the whirlwind,
Out of the whirlwind,
out of the whirlwind. Fathers come frantic with mother's raw pain, running in anguish when they hear their name. They buckle with heartache at each brutal loss of one they had all brought to birth. The young come protesting the murder with rage. They went looking for hope, nudged her up to the stage. God speaks in the cry from the street, out of the whirlwind,
out of the whirlwind.
out of the whirlwind.
I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't breathe.
And the force in their armour with ice in their eyes use weapons of war we have learned to despise. The tear gas rolls slowly and hangs in the street as canisters spin all aflame. And the force is a curse in economy of scale. They're a cold iron hammer in search of a nail. God speaks in a cry from the street, out of the whirlwind,
Out of the whirlwind,
is it not strange, not a little bit odd? A nation of pilgrims claims it's under God, while people are under suspicion and shot, 'cause the colour of their skin is black. George was Jesus, as plain as can be. He's no need of pity, it's change that we need. God speaks in the cry from the street, out of the whirlwind,
Out of the whirlwind,
out of the whirlwind.
I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't breathe.
Now nothing has changed over 400 years. Supremacist lynchings still haunt our affairs. The rope and the tree, and now pavement and knee. There's a manifest reckoning to come. So we're carving our pledge on the old city gate. We're sorry for sleeping and showing up late. Godspeed in the cry from the street, out of the whirlwind,
Out of the whirlwind,
out of the whirlwind.
I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't breathe.
Thank you. This year was the 125th anniversary of women's suffrage here in South Australia. Last year. My how time flies. That's right. In fact, it was this time last year when Trish and Graham and many others were leading up to this reenactment in Parliament House, which was must have been a blast to be there. But I was in Melbourne, so. But Trish challenged me to write a song for a service at Pilgrim that she was leading, and it was on. It was referencing all of those women who were Catholic, Christian, Methodist, a few others, and they were really involved in talking to people, getting people to sign the petitions about justice for women. So many women were in sweatshops, working under terrible conditions. They certainly didn't have the vote. Life for women in this new colony was pretty fragile. And Mary Leigh and some others were quite clear that if women had the suffrage, that would lead incrementally to better living conditions for girls and women. One of the things was also that girls could be put into work at 10 years old or something. No, forced to marry at when they were 12, I think. Anything after that. So it was pretty terrible. So amongst all the information that she gave me, I chose Mary Leigh because she seemed to be the one who was possibly the most fiery and possibly an anarchist. I'm not sure, but certainly if you read this book, it's called Mary Leigh, The Life and Times of a Turbulent Anarchist and a Battle for Women's Rights. And Mary Leigh had disappeared from South Australian memory. And Helen George, I think? Denise George wrote this book, but Helen somebody was a historian who... Thank you, it's on the bottom of the sheet, good on you. Who discovered her in the literature, and so within a short time the South Australian Parliament had put her forward as a potential person to be a national hero. So you will see her bust now on North Terrace on the northern side. If you go down there, she's got this little hat. In fact, she'll look like that when you find her on North Terrace. And just some time ago, we went up and found her grave in the Walkerville Methodist Church cemetery. So it was, I think she's a rather special woman. She died in tough circumstances. I'm thinking probably she was of such a fiery temperament that she'd put a few people offside. I'm just trying to put this together, but she died rather poor. So this tells a little bit of her story. I guess there's so much to tell, but it's only just a little bit. 2, 3, 4. I've still got the capo on, and Paul's thinking, what the heck's going on? 3 and 4. Our memory of history is hazy at best. We hold a few decades and lose all the rest. With each generation, the memory grows dim. That's the story of our Mary Leigh. When Mary Leigh stepped from that wave-battered ship, her heart was on women, those under the whip, with nothing as backstop for women and girls, in sweatshops and walking the streets. Without dole nor relief, hunger knocked on the door. Alas for the pinched, the oppressed and the poor. She formed a trade union for women in pay. With the heart of the Irish she stood. They were given the status of idiots and thieves. Such was the basis of reverence for these. Without a voice in the parliament, nothing would change. They wanted not crumbs but respect. Votes for women, they cried, for our future, our lives. And no tax without representation. Give us choice in our lives. Give us voice to decide how we earn, how we build on our station. Votes for women, they cried. It was largely for dignity, rights and relief that Mary and friends led the call from the street. She rallied the women, petitioned the men. She spoke with the power and the muscle of 10. There were women right there at Eureka Stockade, but it took 40 more years to win this crusade. She took on the government of men for the men, and in 1894 she had won. Votes for women, they cried, for our future, our lives. And no tax without representation. Give us choice in our lives. Give us voice to decide how we earn, how we build on our station. Votes for women, they cried. While Wyoming, Utah, and New Zealand made 4, here women could vote and could be voted for. This wide-eyed young colony had just led the world in its passion for suffrage for all. Though Mary was rich in her passion for rights, there was no money left at the end of her life. A practical-minded reformer in faith, for her Lord she had worked till the end. Votes for women, they cried, for our future, our lives. And no tax without representation. Give us choice in our lives. Give us voice to decide how we earn, how we build on our station. Votes for women, they cried. With women the tapestry grows ever grand. Shoulder to apron, not always as planned. You'll see them still sewing, though fragile and mute, when the pattern is blurred through the tears. Sometimes the thread is the color of blood, oft-times the weft is the color of love. They pick up the needle with yet more to do, with glass ceilings and the pain of Me Too. Votes for women, they cry, for our future, our lives. And no tax without representation. Give us choice in our lives. Give us voice to decide how we earn, how we build on our station. Votes for women, they cry. Thank you. That's good to hear. Good to hear. Yeah, Mum turned 100 on June the 29th, I think, something like that. Indeed, indeed. Hello, Mum. I can't see you just at the moment, but Tanya can on the screen there. Their screens are facing the other way. So how nice is that? And I'm assuming there will be a collection of other residents there in the lounge room. No, she's by herself. All right. Leonardo's Bride with Abby Dobson had this pretty significant hit song, which is now in, I think it's one of the top 40 classic Australian songs. It's a bit of an alto one, so I'm singing quite low in this. And she told the story that when she was with one of the band members, I understand, they had this argument, and one night they went to bed and they hadn't solved the problem, and in the morning he wasn't there, and there was a sign on the pillow that said, "I love you even when you're sleeping, even when you're sleeping." One of those. And she went into the kitchen to have a breakfast, and there was a sign on the Weet-Bix or the cereal of some sort, "I love you even when you're pouring milk on your cereal." And then on the front door there was a sign that said, "I love you even when you're leaving." And you know. And she said, you know, such a lovely thing. And so the song references that. And then she said at the end of her introduction, "But I dropped him." I would think, oh, it's such a lovely love story. And it all fell in a heap. 2, 3, 4. Oh, I'd start this by myself. No, that's right. Yeah, we are really well tuned here, oiled, you know. Don't be confused by my apparent lack of ceremony. My mind is clear. I may be low or miles high off in the distance. I want you near. I love you even when I'm sleeping. When I close my eyes, you're everywhere.
And if they take me flying on the magic carpet, see me wave. If our communication fails, I'll reconnect it.
No matter where the road is leading us, remember, don't be afraid. We have a continent that sometimes comes between us, but that's okay. I love you even when I'm sleeping. When I close my eyes, Now, it's good that Mum's online tonight, because this is a song about my father. He was a scout master, and so my brother and I, Greg, went through scouts like a couple of hundred other men did, or boys did at that time, teenagers. And Dad became known for an event in Broken Hill where Broken Hill South purchased North Broken Hill mine, and they decided that it'd be really useful if there were tunnels joining the two mines. And we're getting back to, I think it was 1967, so they had the basic skills. Computers really hadn't been talked about and thought of. They probably existed in some form, like a big room in some parts of the world. So he didn't have that technology. He just had his theodolite, and that hadn't been done over 4 miles previously. It was just like, perhaps in theory, perhaps it could be done, but because the smallest error would just increase or amplify over the miles, they were quite worried, because when 2 tunnels are meeting underground, you never know where they are. You don't know if they're like this or that, or they're just missing, or they're way apart, because when you hit the rock, you'll hear it. You'll hear it clink, but you don't know whether it's above or below. So you can imagine the sleepless nights that Mum remembers. I don't remember that so much. Let's come in together. 3, 4. He lived his life in Broken Hill, where heat and dust and diamond drill was the way the town would pay the bills and care for growing kids. And he loved us through our childhood years. We ran those hills and cried out tears, and a family there could count their fears on fingers of one hand. And it's been 12 months to the day my father passed away. It hits me now, and I know I miss him still. He was mining engineer at Broken Hill South, admired and respected all about. His work was perfect, there's no doubt, I heard one colleague say. And he had some plans to join 2 mines with a linking tunnel digging blind. They worked from both ends, saving time, blasting rock for miles. And the odds were high he'd fail. Any error of detail would send those tunnels driving out of line. There were those who said to attempt this feat can only yield a sad defeat. They shook their heads in unbelief, it had never been done before. And to survey he had no fancy screen, a digital readout laser beam, just a theodolite and an adding machine to make those tunnels meet. And the months went by and by, and you could have felt the sigh in the end when he was just 12 inches out. He led the scouts on Friday nights, 7's Broken Hill, what a sight. You couldn't beat their sporting might, the strongest troop in town. And now there's hundreds of adult men who smile as they remember him. For Skipper Fred was a friend to them through times of thick and thin. And it's been 12 months to the day my father passed away. I'm proud to say I'm numbered in those men. The notice of the end was short. It seems the time cannot be bought. Just 13 weeks, and he couldn't talk about the pain and fear. And he spent some weeks completing things. There were times he wasn't managing. He couldn't bear the pitying when some folks came around. And it's been 12 months to the day my father passed away. He kept his fears within him till the end. And I was sitting there by his bedside, holding his frail hand in mine. Funny how it comes to mind, the things you could have said Still to hold his hand meant more than words. We couldn't tell just what he heard. Between words and silence, we preferred to hold him till the end. And it's been... I'll get this again. We're going to do that little last those four lines again. As the years all carry on, his memory will linger on. His love has carved a picture on our hearts. He lived his life in Broken Hill, where heat and dust and diamond drill was the way the town would pay the bills and care for growing kids. And he loved us through our childhood years. We ran those hills and cried out tears, and a family there could count their fears on fingers of one hand. And it's been 12 months to the day my father passed away. It's a wonder, Mum, you survived the lonely year. And it's been 12 months to the day my father passed away. It hits me now and I know I miss him still. Some years ago, I wrote a musical for a kids camp out called The Traveller's Way, where two children are distressed in their home village, and the wise man in the town square tells them to go on this journey in search of Haven's hope. Haven was one of the original founders of this village, and so they go off on their journey over streams and through dangerous times, and so it's a part of that song, part of the musical. It's a bit like musical cabaret. You've got a piano that is so automatic it turns itself off. Head out on the road, never gonna find your answer. Sitting back at home, gotta take a risk. Head out on your trip, go searching. The answers in the storm, you are travelers too, looking out to find your
darkness. You will cry, but more than just survive. You will come alive. There'll be highs and there will tears, there'll be lows, but fears will surely have us cry. Life will be good in heaven's home.
Head out on the road, never gonna find your answer. Sitting back at home, gotta take a risk. Head out on a trip, go searching. The answers in the stone. You are travelers too, looking out to find yourself each day. And when you are on the road, darkness may surround, but you're on your way. Well, this is another song that very definitely fits the hymn genre. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, oh my soul, worship God's holy name. Sing like never before, oh my soul, worship your holy name. The sun comes up, it's a new day dawning. It's time to sing your song again. Whatever may fall past and whatever lies before me, let me be singing when the evening comes. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, oh my soul, worship God's holy name. Sing like never before, oh my soul, worship your holy name.
You're rich in love and you're slow to anger. Your name is great and your heart is kind. For all your goodness I will keep on singing. 10,000 reasons for my heart to find. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, oh my soul, worship God's holy name. Sing like never before, oh my soul, worship your holy name. And on the day when my strength is fading, the end draws near and my time has come. Still my soul will sing your praise unending. 10,000 years and then forevermore. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, oh my soul, worship God's holy name. Sing like never before, oh my soul, I'll worship your holy name.
I'll worship your holy A couple of years ago now, I think I went to a transforming worship conference down there at Burnside Uniting. And Sean Gilbert, who is the Reverend Sean Gilbert, doctor, oh my goodness, yes indeed. And he did it brilliantly too. I think he was one of two people to get a special commendation from Flinders University. Sorry, one of four people, I think, and two are from ACD. And Sean was leading the opening devotion, and he came up with this line that God's blessings or God's action works something like neither asked for nor consented. And apparently that's a very Sean thing to say, but it just piqued my interest because stuff happens to us that we think is a bit uncomfortable, but turns out to be a bit of a gift in the long term of things. And so that became the start of this song, but he was talking about how this whole conference came from an idea on a whiteboard. And that little thought of a seed turning into a significant event was important for me. But also another theme of this song is the grief, the sorrow, the anxiety and depression that many of us carry around. And so that got incorporated in this song as well. Oh, sorry, it's in 3/4 time. Let me count in three. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. From a still small voice in silence, while the storms rage in our heart, comes the hope of dreams and healing, self souls near torn apart. Jesus in our pain and sorrow whispers you are not alone, wraps the arms of God around us, never leaves us here or on our own. From a glimpse of something simple, smallest word or tiny seed, comes the hope of unimagined blessings for our daily need. And in this hope for life's transforming, sister, brother, stranger, friend, Holy Spirit, plant your vision for our life and living without end. From the cross there blows a promise, echoes softly through the hills. There is hint of life lived better for us all whom God indwells. Neither asked for nor consented, gifts come raining every day. Where they lead and what they nurture is a mystery still, and who can say? Jesus, come and tend these wounded, come and sit here in our midst. Be the calm that stops our shaking, come and hold this drifting ship. Let your spark of hope grow in us, use these talents for your will. Through the grieving and the aching, may we trust the one who loves us still. Let your spark of hope grow in us, use these talents for your will. Through the grieving and the aching, may we trust the one who loves us still. Indeed. For those people online, Tanya said that Suzanne in Austria said it's very strange to see people not wearing masks. Like in Austria, I guess, when you go out, everybody's wearing a mask. We are so fortunate here that we have followed the science. We had some pretty consistent leadership. It started to get a bit of a double message more recently, but it's kind of hard to just absorb how lucky we are compared to Europe, United Kingdom, USA, where the infection rate is still increasing, going up. It's unthinkable here, isn't it? James Taylor is a bit of a aberration in creation, I think. He's just so creative and also just a lovely character. I was commenting to someone earlier that at the end of the show in Botanic Gardens a year or two back, he went across the whole stage and shook hands with all of the band members, and yet he's probably been doing that every night of the year or many nights. So I think he's consistently just a lovely, lovely man. So I encourage you to sing along at home and here in the Oak. 2, 3, 4. When you're down and troubled and you need some loving care, and nothing is going right, close your eyes and think of me, and soon I will be there to brighten up even your darkest night. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer or fall, all you've got to do is call, and I'll be there, yes I will. You've got a friend. If the sky above you should grow dark and full of clouds, and that old north wind should begin to blow, keep your head together and call my name out loud, and soon you'll hear me knocking at your door. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer or fall, all you've got to do is call, and I'll be there, yes, yeah, yeah. Well, ain't it good to know that you've got a friend? People can be so cold, they'll hurt you, yes, and desert you. They'll take your soul if you let them. Ah, but don't you let them. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. spring, summer or fall. All you've got to do is call, and I'll be there. Yes, I will. You've got a friend. You've got a friend. Ain't it good to know you've got a friend? You've got a friend. So a bit more genre hopping tonight. We're now heading into a Eastern Georgia church song, and the translation of this is: "You are a vineyard just blossoming, young fresh sapling. You are the sun shining all over." There you go. I was first alerted to the idea of Georgian music maybe last year when somebody online mentioned how beautiful something was when Pope Francis was in a Georgian cathedral for Easter. And so I went online and found it on YouTube. You'll find that if you just search for Pope Francis and Georgia, Easter perhaps. And their harmonies and their melodies are so... They're not quite Western, they're certainly not Eastern, but I found it quite delightful. And we've got a faulty connection there. So I just need a key. Oh, I'm in the wrong song. Let's try an A flat.
Thank you. Let's just... Thank you.
So I have a plan sometime to somehow write a Georgian Good Friday service where people get a bit of warning and training. This Georgian Easter service had the whole congregation, they were all standing, and this
young girl, who knows, 14 years old maybe, was the cantor, and everybody in the congregation obviously knew the song, and they just had, I think they had 2 notes, maybe men and women, I'm not sure, and a certain part of the song, they rearranged those 2 notes to form a new chord, and it was just spine tingling. So I don't know whether I have the skill, but we'll see how we go. Yeah, this way.
Oh gosh, I'm feeling the pressure.
It's okay, you're old enough. Right then.
Great setup.
You recognise this song?
Fields of barley. In his arms she fell as her hair came down among the fields of gold. Will you come with me? Will you be my love among the fields of barley? You can tell the sun in his jealous sky as we walked in fields of gold. See the west wind blow like a lover's soul upon the fields of barley. Feel her body rise as you kiss her mouth among the fields of gold. I never made promises lightly, and there have been some that I've broken. But I swear in the days still left, we'll walk in fields of gold. We'll walk in fields of gold. Many years have passed since those summer days among the fields of barley. See the children run as the sun goes down among the fields of gold. You'll remember me when the west wind moves upon the fields of barley. You can tell the sun in his jealous sky when we walked in fields of gold. When we walked in fields of gold. When we walked in fields of gold.
little switch around.
What's next then?
Jasmine, jump in. Yeah, we had to change the plan. Jasmine's just going to do a piece for us. After Phil's a goal. Go for it. So I've asked Jasmine to... did she agree? No. Oh, all right. That's all right. I thought it'd be sad. All right, we're doing a song with... All right. Lack of communication here. Quite some years ago, 20 years ago, Tanya was working with a Lutheran church in Sydney, and Pastor Rick Mickelson was from America, and he was going back. He'd finished his term here, chosen to go back to be with his daughters, with his wife, and from Epping Lutheran Church, and they were having a number of farewell gatherings from around the suburb, and at one particular gathering he was out on a balcony, and the balcony collapsed, and the short story is that he didn't make it through. And so it was a terrible time of grieving. And so this song was part of that process. 2, 3, 4. Jesus, be our harbour light when we're all at sea on a raging night, when the lines won't hold and the timbers fold. Be the hope in these aching days. Shadows creeping in the night, in this autumn of the soul, showing our aloneness for the whole wide world to know, and all the dreams just memories, such demons we devise, with our heart out in the weather, in this season of goodbye. Jesus, be our harbour light when we're all at sea on a raging night, when the lines won't hold and the timbers fold. Be the hope in these aching days. There's a tearing at the soul, just the price of this goodbye. There's a resurrection waiting, but first we have to die. This liturgy of letting go is still the hardest thing I know. For a broken heart to move slowly when it knows not where to go. Jesus, be our harbour light when we're all at sea on a raging night, when the lines won't hold and the timbers fold. Be the hope in these aching days. Without saying this goodbye, we can never say hello. There's a mountain there for moving, it's such a struggle on the road. Yes, the heart is healing slow, but yet the pain just never ends. Somewhere up ahead I know there's peace just round the bend. Jesus, be our harbour light when we're all at sea on
timbers fold, leaves a hope in these aching days. How are we going? I'm aware we're a bit past the time, and I know some people will be wanting to go elsewhere. So I'm going to squeeze in a couple of songs. That'll take us till 9. No, let's go for I Hope You Dance. Come on up here. Skip out a favourite of mine. Oh, that's all right.
I can't hear anyone complaining.
Here's our country song for the evening. When we were in America, when Tanya was studying for an MDiv, there was a big song at the time, 2001-ish, thereabouts, called I Hope You Dance, Leigh and Womack. And I tend to get the speed wrong.
Slower than you think.
But always keep that hunger. May you never take one single breath for granted. God forbid love ever leave you empty-handed. Let's this is probably a cable, I'm assuming. Let's push it in and fiddle. Toot, 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 toot. Hello, there we go. It's in. I won't move it now. Let's jump straight into the verse. Oh, 1, 2, 3. I hope you never lose your sense of wonder. You get your fill to eat, but always keep that hunger. May you never take one single breath for granted. God forbid love ever leave you empty-handed. I hope you still feel small when you stand beside the ocean. Whenever one door closes, I hope one more opens. Promise me that you'll give faith a fighting chance. When you get the choice to sit it out or dance, I hope you'll dance. I hope you'll dance. I hope you never fear those mountains in the distance. Never settle for the path of least resistance. Living might mean taking chances, but they're worth taking. Loving might be a mistake, but it's worth making. Don't let some hell-bent heart leave you bitter. When you come close to selling out, reconsider. Give the heavens above more than just a passing glance. When you get the choice to sit it out or dance, I hope you'll dance.
Is a will in constant motion, always rolling, all so long.
I hope you'll dance.
Wants to look back on the youth and want to know where those years have gone.
I hope you still feel small when you stand beside the ocean. Whenever one door closes, I hope one more opens. promise me that you'll give faith a fighting chance when you get the choice to sit it out or dance. Dance, I hope you'll dance. I hope you'll dance.
Is a wheel in constant motion, always rolling us along.
I hope
Tell me
you'll
who
dance.
wants to look back on their youth and
I
wonder
hope
where
you'll
those
dance.
years have gone.
I hope you'll
Time
dance.
is a wheel in constant motion, always
I hope you'll
rolling
dance.
us along.
I hope
Tell me
you'll
who
dance.
wants to look back on their youth and wonder
I hope
where
you'll
those
dance.
years have gone.
Thank you so much, everyone, for coming tonight to help us raise some funds for our Bridgewater Arts Centre. We think the funds will probably go towards a new lighting rig, which we don't actually have at the moment. The church hasn't been used now for only one Sunday, and tomorrow it won't be used either. The floor has just been raised over 10 days of work, including some night shifts for those who work during the day. There's been a lot of labour gone into it, but when you go in there now, there is no stage. It's all one floor, but it's kind of hits you with this a surprisingly large feel, which is just a delight because it gives us a bit more ability to do stuff, to turn in different directions, and the band can be in different places. But it's a long haul to get all the finances together. So thank you for being part of it. And I'm in E tonight. This is a song called Caledonia, written by a Scotsman called Doogie McLean. And some while back, there was a survey of Scotland's most popular song, and this turned out to be the most popular song. And some people have quipped that if they have a reason to find a new national anthem, maybe it'll be this one. But it's a love song to Scotland. I was planning on doing some other Scottish song tonight, but I didn't actually get to it for this one. Maybe another night. 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. I don't know if you can see the changes that have come over me in these last few days. I've been afraid that I might drift away. I've been telling old stories, singing songs. It makes me think about where I came from. That's the reasons why I seem so far away today. Oh, and let me tell you that I love you, that I think about you all the time. Caledonia, you're calling me, now I'm going home. And if I should become a stranger, know that it would make me more than sad. Caledonia, you're everything I've ever had. Well, I have moved and I've kept on moving, proved the points that I've needed proving, lost the friends that I've needed losing, found others on the way. I have tried and I've kept on trying, stolen dreams, yes, there's no denying. Travelled hard sometimes with conscience flying,
somewhere with the wind. Oh, and let me tell you that I love you, that I think about you all the time. Caledonia, you're calling me, now I'm going home. And if I should become a stranger, know that it would make me more than sad. Caledonia, you're everything I've ever had. While I'm sitting here beside the fire, the empty room, the forest choir, the flames have cooled, don't get any higher. They've withered now, they've gone. And I'm steady thinking, my way is clear, and I know what I will do tomorrow. When hands have shaken and kisses float, then I will disappear. Oh, and let me tell you that I love you, that I think about you all the time. Caledonia, you're calling me, now I'm going home. And if I should become a stranger, know that it would make me more than sad. Caledonia, you're everything I've ever had. Caledonia, you're everything I've ever had. Caledonia, you're everything I've ever had. Thank you to Erin and Jasmine and Tanya, who came to swell the rafters with some singing. Thanks for coming tonight. Did I miss out anything? I probably did. Yes, I did. Jeff Hurst back here has put in inordinate hours to get this afloat. You can see that he's got quite some technical prowess. Yesterday we pulled out all the church stuff, it's all hiding in there, and so we set all this up, and so tonight when we're done we'll actually reverse the process and, fingers crossed, get it all working again. So a huge thank you from me, but also the Arts Centre and on behalf of everyone. Jeff, huge thanks. Good on you. For those of you who don't know and online, Jeff is the minister in the next parish over, Uniting Church over in Balhanna, and we live kind of halfway in between, but we ended up coming here just by chance. So thank you once again, and thanks for all of the friends and family online. So much for my timetabling 1 hour's worth of a concert. How did that happen? Well, there you go. There you go. I thought it still might be a little bit low in time. Good night. See you again. And thanks on behalf of Bridgewater Arts Centre. Thank you, John. Thank you.